My today's project is cleaning my boiler at my own house. So haven't done any cleaning since last year, so I like to do a light cleaning every single year, so it's good to go for this coming winter. Plus I'm going to change a couple of things to the boiler because it doesn't seem to be working very well. I'm not a professional HVAC guy by any trade. I'm just a homeowner that like to do stuff. So this is how I do it, and maybe I might be able to help somebody out there. It's not very hard, but you know, as long as you have a little bit of knowledge, you definitely can do it. But you know, if you don't have any knowledge, before you start taking screws off, I would probably maybe get somebody else to do it for you. So let's get started. A couple of things we want to do before we get started is make sure you turn the power off, which I did. You know, turn the gas off, which my boiler is gas, and then this is a Phantom boiler. It's 90 plus. Is a propane for our house. Actually does very well. Is I believe is 92 or 94 plus, something like that. Another thing we want to do, turn the water off, because we're kind of basically gonna replace, I'll show you here real quick. This is the pressure tank here, so it's kind of it's not pressurized anymore. The thing inside kind of not working, so I gotta take it off over here. But first, before I do that, I'm gonna have to turn all the water off. Another thing I want to change is this bleeding valve, which is right here. What this does, allows air to get out and not the water, so it kind of keeps the boiler full of water. So it's kind of, because of the pressure tank not working, you can kind of see how crummy this thing looks. And plus we have hard water and started leaking and then dropping into the bucket. So if I'm doing all that, I'm just going to replace this as well. First thing now I'm going to do is take the panel, the cover off the boiler. Gonna put that away. And first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to clean it up. I'm going to clean the burning chamber. So again, I'm going to try to kind of show you the best that I can. It's kind of somewhat difficult, but I'll kind of try to go slow. So this opens up kind of like a door. It has two screws here, one here and one right here. So you take these two screws out, you know, and then this whole thing will come off. Once we take those screws out, this whole thing basically will just open up like this. And let me show you here. This is kind of basically the burning chamber. So you can kind of see where all the wires and everything are. So at this point, a good idea would be you can take your iPhone and record a little bit in here, so you can kind of backtrack what you did. So when you do end up taking things out, you can kind of basically remember where they went. So that's kind of like what I have done in the past to kind of help me out. So now I've done it a few times, so I kind of remember where everything goes. So the first thing we want to do is start taking all these fittings here, so we can free up, because this is where the chamber is, and we got to take all these bolts out, and this whole thing will come out. All right, let's start taking some of the things apart here. This is the grounding, you know, wire that goes right there. So everything will just be laying over. These are kind of almost like spark plugs. You kind of yank them out, and then that's where they would go. So again, just keep notes which side, because there's two of them here. You know, you have this and this, so make sure they go on the right side of that. And okay, and now we have the wire down here. Disconnect that goes to this is kind of like the valve, you know, the gas valve. It kind of releases the gas that goes into the burning chamber. So just should get that off right there like that. Here's the gas line here, so I kind of got that loose. It's a little bit difficult here to kind of get it, but you have to take it off because this whole thing is one piece, an assembly kind of. So you got to take the gas line off to be able to kind of take the thing out. So there you go, it's kind of released. Then there's a lot of a hose here comes over there also, and this is the intake thing. So you're just gonna let it sit there, and basically just you know. Now the only thing now I gotta do is take these bolts here, and once I pull this out, there is another wire behind here which I can't get it. I'm gonna have to wait till when I pull the thing out to be able to unplug it so I can take the whole thing out. Okay, now that I got all the bolts here out, this whole thing will slide out. So it's kind of like long and bulky, so you have to kind of be careful. And I'm gonna have to take the wire that is out in the back of this thing here. So I gotta be somewhat careful. Taking it out, slide it out. And you can kind of basically see where these other wires are here that I need to pop out. Pinch them off, and let's see if this here can get this other one here real quick. There he goes. So. But I'm gonna put this to the side. It's kind of like very fragile, so I don't want to screw this up. So I gotta put it on a good place so until I put it back on. You can kind of see the burning chamber in there. You can kind of see all this crust and everything left over from the previous winter. All the gas and everything has been burnt in there. Want to give it a good cleaning with that brush, you know. So what I have done. It's kind of like a little paper here. I'm going to put all the way in the back here so I would protect the back part. It's kind of like a fire resisting, fireproof or resistant film, or not exactly sure what that stuff is, but it's very brittle, so you don't want to hit it with a brush. So just want to get now the brush and then pretty much put it on a drill and just go around and around and clean it up good. Well, you can kind of see, you know, how it cleans it up, gets all the crust there, you know, from the previous winter and being running in there and condensation, all that. So it's nice and clean now, so it is good and ready for this coming winter. Now you just have to remember to put everything back and make sure that you don't leave any wires unhooked. So well, I put the burning chamber on. I hooked up the gas line. You know, now I need to basically hook up all these, you know, other parts that we saw here coming off of it. One, the orange thing looks like a spark plug, goes on this side like that. Looks like actually got a little bit hot there, so kind of go. This is the grounding wire, goes there. The other one goes right there. Just kind of basically putting everything back. So, and I need 2 hands for that one down there, so I gotta do that. The other thing I like to do, I like to check the condensation line. Like this is the trap right here. So because you get all winter long, you're gonna get dirty water in there, and you want to make sure it's not clogged. So I kind of like take that off, kind of look at it and clean it, and has like a you can kind of see there, it's gonna drip in now. As soon as I take that off, it's gonna, yeah. So it has like this, like a round ball in there, kind of like want to make sure that is clean, it doesn't stick in there, because it's going to affect the condensation line, the water dropping in and out. So you want to clean that. Your boiler might have it somewhat different, but whichever it is, gonna try to get it clean so it doesn't stick and then causes issues later on. Your boiler will shut off and it'll work as it should. Additionally, I'm outside the house now where the intake and outtake it is, you know, to the boiler. It kind of looks something like this, you know. And so what I do has a screen on, so I will remove the screen and I will run the shop vac hose in there. I will run it in there and suck any debris or anything like that. You never know, over the summer months you could have had any bees or anything like that. They could go in there, or debris that, you know, bypass through the screen. It's a good idea to kind of get anything that might be in there so it doesn't go, so the boiler doesn't suck it into the intake. You know, obviously you want to try to kind of do everything you can to kind of keep it in good standing for the winter. So this is what I do for mine. And again, I'm not a professional HVAC guy, just a homeowner that likes to do stuff. And you know, this is the way I do it for mine. I'm sure there's a better way to do it, but you know, once I do this, then I'm going to start changing those parts on the boiler on the inside. Okay, now that all that is done, what we need to do to replace these pieces like this one here and there, I want to shut the main water off that goes to the boiler, which I already have done right here, so no more water goes in. I want to also shut off all the zones, you know, which we have 3 zones. So I don't want any of the water just running off. I'm sure I'm gonna have to bleed every line again, but I just don't want to wait doing it right now. So I'm just gonna shut it off and just gonna get the water off the boiler, whatever that little bit is. Got all that, and just pretty much hook up a hose right here to this thing and just let the water run out of the boiler. I gotta get the water out, so you know, I can change that in this thing over here, and then put the new pieces on and run some new water in there and bleed all the lines and get it going. Okay, I'm gonna open the water, drain the boiler. I'm also gonna open the pressure relief valve, so we're gonna help to kind of get some of the water out, so get it any which way we can basically. So just run it out, and once we have all the water out, which sounds like that kind of there, and so I'm just gonna, which is kind of good enough, and you know, looks like we might be getting pretty close here. You can kind of see the pressure there, so it's kind of draining. So once that is drained, I can pretty much start taking this thing out over here and just let some of the water trickle down and put the new one in. Okay, I'm gonna try to take this thing off and replace that first. I'm sure there'll be some water, put a bucket underneath, and just let basically the water trickle down on it. So if yours is stuck, you know, don't force it, because you don't want it to snap in there. You can kind of heat that up a little bit too. You can run a torch in there and kind of burn whatever is holding it in there. It'll come off a little easier. So this is, some water probably will come out, but I'm gonna just turn this off here and just, okay, there he goes. You kind of see how this is just, we have so much hard water in here that it's kind of corrodes everything. And so I'm just gonna run a new one in there and call it a day. Well, you can kind of see, this is the new one, this is the old one, and you can kind of hear the thing inside the valve that is gonna, you know, work inside to kind of let the air out, not the water. And this thing is just totally just seized up. So I'll put a lot of Teflon tape in there, and also put a little bit of this kind of like a plumbing dope, pro dope, kind of like put it in there, so kind of helps to kind of seal, just in case, you know, if I didn't put the Teflon right. I don't put much in there, just a little bit, and then kind of go ahead and put that thing in there and hopefully this one will work better. Okay, I'm gonna take the old one. I kind of broke it loose up here. It's kind of a little rusty, and just want to hold on to the stupid thing because of it's just I don't know what that noise is, but just want to probably get some water here going out. But if it does, I'll put a bucket underneath. Yeah, so there he goes. Might as well get all this nasty water out. It's rusty as shit. So I'm gonna clean her up and put the new tank in. Clean this rusty water a little bit with the towel here. Okay. Got the new tank. I already have put the Teflon tape and put the same thing that dip out there, so it's gonna, to a degree, it's gonna make a good seal. See if I can get it lined up there. Hopefully I'll be able to kind of get it in there. Gonna be easy. This seems to be a little fatter than the last one. They come already, as I don't know if you can actually see it. There are 4.5 gallons. They come pressurized to about, about 12 psi. I did get this one to a like a heating store. I want to make sure it was a decent one. Nothing wrong with the other one. This is kind of made in Italy, so hopefully it's gonna last a little bit better because of the last one. Being give it a little snug here with the wrench, and that's probably good enough. Okay, so that's good to go. Now the only thing I gotta do is bleed all the lines. So I'm not gonna show you that because every household has a different loop on it, depending on how your plumber has run your water lines, because you know you need to bleed each individual line separately. So you open one, you open the water and let it run the outside, kind of get all the air out. You shut that off, then do the next one, and on and on. So you want to try to get basically as much air as possible out of the system, and hopefully you can get it all. But if not, you got to be able to get majority of it, probably 99%. If you can do that, that would be good. So that would be something that you guys have to figure out on your own heating unit, because again, every household is a little bit different. This is kind of like how I do it at my house. Everybody doing it for your own purpose. Again, you know, be sure what you're doing. Don't burn your boiler, because you gotta make sure you gotta bleed it. So this is kind of how I do it, and hopefully this will help somebody out there. But it's great to kind of do it once a year at least. If you are not capable of doing it yourself, you probably should get a heating guy to kind of do that for you. So make sure it's gonna be running good for the coming year. So I want to thank you for watching our videos, and we'll see you on the next one.